So all walk onto the chair. In fact, there's two decks, bottom deck and top deck. And then the onsetter who puts you on drops the cage. It's like a curtain cage on the chair, right? The next thing, he just rings the bell and just... It's not like a lift in a shop. Because that fast that when it comes to slow down at the bottom, you have to bend your knees. Well, I had plenty of good friends, yeah, down the pit. And everybody knew me because on the job I was doing at Clipstone pit, like it was, I used to travel from one district to another, you see. And then all of a sudden you get a call from the surface, a beltman wanted it so and so. So I had to go and try and sort it out. What was wrong with the belt? Why there were trouble, like, and some of them wanted a new stitch on, like, because they used to rip a bit, you know. And if you didn't put it on, if a belt snapped, it caused a hell of a lot of work, so much work, because when it snapped with it being tight, it would part hundreds, say nearly 100 yards, and this would be quite a distance from the gear head, so you had to drag a piece of belt up there. We're always men, the men was told to help the belt now, so we had to take this piece of belt up and put it in this gap, then go back to the gear head and put the belt, start the belt and pull the slack out until it's back to its normal strength, you know.
How long was the belt?
Oh, I'd say some was nearly half a mile long. Carry the coal, yeah. Look as well, because the day shift would do the coal, afternoon shift you got the rippers who used to take the dirt round, like, and advance the coal face, you know. And it was their job, like, to, and what they did then, like, before they got the walking chops, they have to build a pack. Where the coal had been took from, they had to build a pack with lumps of rock and build it up, like, to support where they took the coal from, you know. And they were called rippers and beltmen, and there was everything, like, you know. And then when the machines come into pit, like, it made things really easy, because there were no stinting, like men used to have about 9 yards of coal to shovel onto a belt, because the machines used to come down just slicing it off, you know. And all these, they put a sprag into the ceiling, you see, and on front of this machine was a roll of cable, you know. So they pull all the cable out to where it was spragged into the roof, and then when the machine started, it would pull itself along by winding this rope in, you know. And then they change it, like, to go the opposite way, like, you know. All it was, a machine, it was a big long thing with an arm on that used to move about, you know. And let me just say, that was modern. But before that, like, every man used to have a stint, like six yards of coal. The man used to come on afternoons and drill the holes in the face, like, and every man used to take a bag of powder around the pit, that plastic explosive, you know. And of course, that's all they had. They didn't take no detonators. That was the deputy's job, to have the detonators. So they'd make a little hole in the plastic explosive and put a detonator in, and they'd couple them all up, you know. And when they was making a tunnel, like, they'd tell everyone to get covered at the back of the shield. I even got my opponent to bend down the back of the shield. And then the deputy, the couple up, and just turn the key, a shout fire, and turn the key, and there was an explosion, like. And then the men had gone clear all the rock up. Put onto the belt, like, and then they set a steel ring, you know. These rings used to come in half, So they get these two halves together, like, and they used to put big plates on to fasten together, you know. And that was that were the rippers. But they had all kinds of men, like they had the rippers, the coal-faced machine men and all that. The chock men that handle the chocks. They used to sprag it and it would compress the compressed air, and then as soon as the face advanced, that would advance, holding the face up, and then they used to just let the piece behind where they got the coal just collapse. That's what used to cause a lot of subsidence, you know. So then they had to start putting something in its place, like building these bits of squares of rock, you know, what we'd got, and trying to keep it up, like, you know. But it was quite interesting down mine, you know, but not for everybody. Like, everybody didn't like it. I mean, a lot of people killed down the mine as well.
Did you ever Did you ever lose anybody that you knew, or?
Oh yeah, I did, yeah. And I know down in Clipstone there were two men hung themselves down there, down the pit, yeah. I think one of them actually came from Sutton, having problems at home, like with his wife. And then there was another one who had his head took off. He used to examine the shaft, but he was looking over the shaft when the chair came down and took his head off.
Was this when you worked there?
Yeah, when he worked there.
And how would you find out about something like that?
Everybody knew about it after a bit. Word always got round. I mean, I can remember when I was carried out at pit with a perforated ulcer. Within no time, everybody knew who it was. I mean, I can remember going carried to pit bottom to put onto the chair, and everybody saying, "Oh, it's Johnny Butler, the belt man. I wonder what's happened to him, like, you know." And I went straight home, went to bed, and Dr. Jan at the village, and he came, and he put his what's-her-name to his tabs, and he just felt it, and he said, "Perforated ulcer." So I went to hospital. I think they operated about 9 o'clock at night. Still got the scar here, huh?
Pit holidays, it was every July, weren't it? 2 weeks, and everything shut down and everybody went there. Whereabouts was the railway that used to take us on the pit trips?
6th Avenue. This come right up before the houses were built. It used to come right up the train on the village, and we used to go onto the train, and the kids, she'd give the kids an apple and an orange, and some money in an envelope, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
That's what the pit union supplied. Oh yeah, I came downstairs one night about the early hour of the morning, and Mum says, "What you come down for?" She said, I said, "For school." She said, "It's in school time yet." And that's when I found out I'd got malnutrition. Because food was on ration anyway, and if you couldn't afford, my mum used to get clothing coupons, you know. But I used to go somewhere near Pleasure Cross to this house and sell them for a shilling each. So if we got a page from that, we'd get a pound for 20 coupons, like, you know. And then we could have bread and jam, which were a luxury then. We didn't eat a lot, but in the morning there were no such things as like today, like cornflakes or Weetabix. We used to have milk pobs. That was milk with bread dropped in, with a bit of sugar, if you got sugar. And you have to eat them like before I went to school. But everybody called me Scruffy Butler. I grew up with that, and then I think nowadays kids don't know how well off they are, you know. I mean, there are no such thing as benefits. You used to ask somebody come to, and used to call it national assistance. And you'd explain to them all about this and that, you know, and then he'd point out to bits of furniture and say, "Can't you sell that? Can't you sell that? Can't you sell that?" You know. Before you get, and then they didn't give you money; they give you a voucher to take to the shop, a food voucher, you know. And you couldn't get any cigarettes on it, just eating food, you know. I mean, then, like, they want the toys like this today, you know. We used to make a trolley. We used to get a piece of wood, like, cross piece, a long piece with cross piece at back, and put some pram wheels on, and make come down these hills on them, you know, no brakes on. In fact, that's why I got a scar on my knee, because it come over and scraped all the skin off my knee. That's when I lived at Pleasley. It was called Crowell, that one. But I can't say things got better. I didn't taste chicken till I went in the army.